Yeah. Welcome everybody to a wonderful section. I'm going to be taking you through a very interesting section. Right now, we're going to have our hands on shell navigation. Shell navigation is where we're going to be talking about right now. Some of you have been having challenges with this shell. Um, I think this is a very important aspect for those of us that are having those challenges. I believe at the end of this class, um, at the end of this section, you should be able to, first of all, uh, know how to navigate in Unix system at the end of this section, how to list files and directories at the end of this section, how to display the content of a file. You have to display, okay, a content, you have to display what is inside the file. I'll be using some things as an example today. This is a cup, and you need to show us what is inside this cup. um you know how to create a file or a directory. That is how to create something inside this empty terminal. This is a terminal, and how you're going to be able to create something inside it and it to become visible like this. So at the end of this class, you should be able to do that. How to remove a file or a directory. Now, how to remove this? You created it, and then you should be able to remove it from the file or the directory from the terminal. You should be able to do that. And how to move or copy a file. Like, for an example, you have this, and then you have this, and you have this. You want to move to copy, you want to move this into this. You can see it. You want to move this into this. You should be able to do that at the end of this class. So let's get on. Let's get on. I want you to be conscious of these materials. The first one here, we have Linux navigation. Please try as much as possible to um, to make use of all these materials. They are very important. Don't just watch videos. These resources take time to study them and understand the nitty-gritty of all this navigation. In this lesson, we will introduce our first three commands. This print working directory. This is what print working directory. That is to print a working directory. To print that, okay, what this means is in the sense that you've been sending an email to somebody, and you want to be sure that where you are sending that email is from your own personal email. That is what this means. So you want to check whether it is actually from your personal email you are sending that email. It is possible you may be sending it from another person's email. You have access to another person's email, and you are sending it from another person's email to those that knows about Gmail or email. Okay, so you want to be sure. And how do you check? You have to go back and check and enter and look. Okay, this is my email. Go to send and see. And that is what this PW, print working directory, to see where you have been working, whether you are not working in a different directory. Before you start a work, you have to check where you are working. First of all, check it. After you finish checking, when you finish working again, you check again, so that you'll be sure that, oh, hope I'm not working in another man's vineyard. Okay, so that is what it means. Then the CD means to change a directory. The directory is, I have a land and I want you to come and work in my land as an engineer. Okay, for you to be able to know that this is the land, you have to check and verify whichever way you need to do to check. And that land is what? Is the directory where you are actually working, where you actually want to keep those documents. This cup now is an empty directory, and you need to put in something into it to make it non-empty. For you to be sure that this is the place you have been putting all what you've been putting all this while, to be sure that it is actually the right cup, you need to check the label that, okay, this is sample A, I am right. And if it is not, then you have to remove them. And that is when you need to delete and remove, or yes, move. Or you may want to make this cup a little bit free. Just put in everything in this one, put everything and put them in. That is to copy. You copy something in another and in another. Okay, so you're going to understand all these concepts at the end of this class. Um, you're going to understand the concepts. Look at this other material. We have Linux. We have Linux. Let me close all these tabs. They can be very distracting. Let me close all these tabs. Yes, looking around, you have ls. This is to list. To list. Now, I said I have 5 hands. How do you know I have 5 hands? I have to list my hands for you to know. And by the time I open my hands, you see all what I have in my hands, in my palm. And you know it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 5 what? Amps. It's very simple. Okay, so that's what it means to list. I'm showing you here this ls. And this less here also means to what? To view the text, to view what you're doing. Then the file, to classify a file content. We're going to see all of that. Ls, I've talked about it. This list, this ls, you know, ls, maybe you want it to be in a straight form. You want to list everything. You don't want it to be in horizontal. You want everything to be in a straight form. Then you can use this what? You can use this ls minus l. That is how, when you enter it under that file, you just enter it to bring everything out. We're going to be doing that and you'll be able to see it. Then the ls minus l etc. Maybe after entering my ls minus l, you will now put in the kind of things you want to see. Maybe you are looking for letters that start with s. You can now put s. It will bring all the letters in your folder that has S. If it is B, it will bring out all the elements that have B. And that is the function of this etc/bin. Okay. The ls, this is the example of it too. This one, list files in bin directory and etc directory on long format. Okay, I'll be taking water while I'm talking, so please, if you don't mind, thank you. So ls minus al, and that is what I was talking about, to list. So we're going to be seeing more of all this as time goes on. We're also going to see this here. We have copy. I talked about copy, to move from one, to copy a document from, instead of just putting this and making it empty, you can just, and here I have this and I want to put all into one container. How do I do it? I will just copy this into this and put this into this. You see, I've minimized it. And that is the concept of copying. To move is after copying into this place. You understand? I want to put everything together. To copy into this place, I need to move all of this into this to make it one. And that is the concept of moving. Okay? And the MV here we have here can also delete. The RM we have here, what? Remove files and what? Directories. It can remove files and directories, but you need to add dir to make it to be able to remove directory. It can only remove files. This is the, then this one is meant to what? To make directories. Okay, so we're going to see all of these. You need to go through this. I cannot be explaining from one to another. I'm going to show you the concept of all of this as time goes on. So let's go back to our project. Now, these are the basic commands that we need to master. These are the commands we need to know how to use. You know, you must know how to use them as a software engineer. So here I've talked about all of this. So let's get on. The first project we have here is task 1. The first project we have here is task 1. Okay, we have task 1 here, and that's create me. So what are you going to do? What is task? It said access your sandbox, change your working directory to what? Root, and then create an empty file. Those are the two things you want to do now. You want to what? You want to create an empty file. So let's do that. Go to your sandbox and click on this. Just don't worry about everything here. Just come here. Go to the web terminal. Now, you cannot be working here and still be coming back here. It can be very frustrating. It can be very frustrating. So what I will just ask you to do, look at what I'm doing. Just hold on to your cursor here. Drag it. Just drag it down. You see, to come out. If you want to put it back, you can put it back. You see? Just put it here and click on your left mouse. Click on it, the left side of the mouse, and drag it down. You can put it back if you want to put it back. And if you don't have a mouse, you can use your system. You put your cursor and put your left hand on the left side of the tab, the left side of the sensor, not the right. Your left click. After putting the mouse here, then you place your hand on the left, then you drag it down. You see, you keep dragging one by one. You see it? So now you now come here. You look for what you are. It has minimized. Sorry, not this. Let's close this tab. So you're using this tab. You're using this tab. You don't need this tab. Yes. So what you do, you bring it down here so that you can see all what you're doing clearly side by side. Okay, let's get on. Now, the first task is what? We talked about cd. What is the function of cd? Cd simply means copy directory. What I say? Copy directory. That's the meaning of cd. cd will help you, change directory. cd will help you to change your working directory. I gave you an example the other time. You needed to come and work in my land, and I wanted you to work in another land, which is my own. So you need to be sure of the land you are actually working at. I have land A and land B. So this cd is like a command that will help you to know which land. And the land here is the terminal. This open place is the terminal. So for you to know where to work, this cd command will take you to the right land. We help you to know which land you need to work. That's change directory. So you are in a particular directory. This hash is an official directory that you are not actually given the permission to do this project. So you need another kind of directory. And what is the directory? Look at it here. It says what? It says root. Root is a directory. How do you get it? What you do is what? Come here, enter your cd, then click on your slash and click on root. Then you enter. You see it? Hope you can see. You see that this thing has changed. This has changed to this. So you are now in your own working directory. Now, what is the next question? Then create an empty file. So cool. That's the name of the file. So cool is the name. It's just a name. It's a file. You know, when you create a folder in your normal system, you give it a name. Okay, you can call it anything. My pictures, my movies, Korean movie, whatsoever kind of movie, you call it a name. That is just this. They just call it so cool. But there's something, there must be something inside. It's either there's something inside the fold file or it's an empty file. But that's none of your business. They just say create this word, so cool file. How do you create? The first thing you need to do is click on your touch, CUTH, and enter the name of the file. What's the name of the file? So cool. That's the name of the file. So click on enter. You see it? You have created. Now, how do you know you've created a file? How do you know you've created a file? What you need to do now next is to click on list ls. Some of these commands are the things you have been asked to take note of. Look at ls. This is ls. Okay, we skipped something here. We'll still come back to it, but let's use that. It means to confirm you're working directly. Let's check. Good, we are still in the right working directory. We are in the right working directory. That is this. You can see it now. So now we're talking about to check this file we have created. How do we check? By clicking on ls. Let's now see what we have inside. Whoa, we have new school. Did we create this? I must have created it before, so don't worry about that. What did we just create now? So cool. That is what we just created. Okay, so cool is the name of the file we just created. Good. Now, to check, to check your working directory at the end of this project, just click on pwd to be sure again that you did it in the right directory. So now let's check our answer, whether we are correct, whether we are on the right track. Good, we got it right. So let's go to the next task. More of me. Say more of me. Yes, it has to be more of you in this project. So here it is all about self-development. So put into more of you, more of yourself, because I have to put into more of me. So more of me is just a name of a project. You just decide to give it any name, so don't confuse yourself. So here now we have been asked to change your working directory. Change the working directory. And what is the working directory? /root. Let's check whether we have changed it, whether we are still on it. So what do we do? That means you are still on it. We didn't change, but you have to clear this so that our work can be very neat. For you to check, pwd. So you are still in the root. Make sure you are in the root. If you do anything outside the root, you're not going to get the right the checker is not going to check you right, and you're not going to get the right answers. So you have to be in the root. So now what is the project? Then copy the file school. This school, they say you should copy this school towards to this /emp. Why is this thing having slash? It means it's a directory. Anything that has slash means it's what? A directory. Don't forget. Anything that just starts on its own like this is a file. But once it has slash something something, it means it's a directory. Okay? So let me cancel. Let us copy this file. Now you want to copy school. Have you asked yourself, do you have school as a file on your system? I may have it because I've done that before, but let us check if we still have it. ls. Good. Do we have school? We have school. I need to delete the school so that we'll now because for you that is doing it, you will not be having any school. So if they say you should copy a file, it's now left for you to know whether you have that file on your system. Maybe you need to create the file before you now copy it into another directory. Okay, so I need to delete this. How do I delete a file? To delete a file, you need to use rm. Rm is used to delete a file. Why RMDIR is used to delete a directory. Don't forget, there are two different things. This will delete a directory, while RM will delete a what? A file. Don't make that mistake. So we want to delete this code so that we can create it. Okay. Normally on the terminal, we are not supposed to have a school on it because I've created it before. So it has been removed. Let's check ls. You see that there's no more school on the directory. So let's now create it. The real project is what? To copy. We have not even started that. I hope you are following me. We have not started the project. Now we need to create a what? A file before you can now say you want to copy the file into another directory. So let's create. How do you create a file? Don't forget, click on touch, 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 and then you space and enter the name of the file. What is the file? School. Good. Enter. So ls list. How do you get it? Enter. You want to check whether it has been created, right? Good. So we now have school. Very good. Now let's now do the project. The project is then copy the file school to what? TMP. Copy the file school to TMP. Okay? How do you do that? To copy a file to a directory or to another file, what do you use? You use CP, means copy. CP, copy. Don't forget. Then you space. Then you now list the two, the file and the directory. School, you want to copy school into what? TMP directory. You see it, but you have to put space in between. Okay, anytime you want to copy this school, you want to move it inside this TMP. So you first of all write CP, you now write school and TMP. You space it. So you put your enter. Good. How do you know you have copied school into TMP? Let's check our working directory. If we still see school there, that means it has not been copied. So ls. Do we see school here? Yes, there is school here. That means we must have had oh, sorry. We want to copy a file. Yes, I'm kind of tired. Sorry about that. So, to copy this file, the next thing you will do is let's cd into this. Let's cd means to change directory and check whether it has been copied, because I've done this project before, so these things may be repeating itself. I'm just trying to go back and repeat the project. So on this note, I want you to hold on. So we are back. So as I said at the other time, you need to copy. Use your CP to copy. Now, for you to check whether you have copied the file, what do you do? CD, change directory, CD T/TMP. You want to enter into where you copied that file so that you can check Enter, then now say ls list. Let's check whether there's school. You see there's school inside of it. Good. Let's go back. For you to go back to the previous directory, just say cd hyphen to take you back. Good. You are back. Okay. So now let's continue. You have moved this folder into this. So let's check. Let's check. Let's check. Let's check. Good. So see that our checkers have been able to see that we are on the right track. Okay, let's do the second project. What's the second project? The second project says change your working directory. We are still on the working directory. Then rename the file old school towards new school. Someone will just look at this and say this thing is very difficult. It is not difficult. It is what we have is the second project we have here is we have been asked to change the working directory and then rename the file old school towards new school. It's not a very big problem, so don't panic. The next thing you need to do to clear your terminal, just click on clear. Everything will be wiped off so you can start afresh. Don't forget you are still in the right terminal, but for you to check if you are still in the right terminal, don't forget to use your pwd so you are still on the right track. So let's continue. Now the project it says then rename the file old school towards new school. Do you have anything like old school? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. Do you have old school? Do you have new school as a file on your terminal? So let's check. ls, we can list it vertically. Don't forget to list vertically. Use your ls and your space minus l. It's going to bring everything vertically. You see it? So let's check. Old school. Do we have old school here? No, we don't have old school. Do we have new school here? New school. Yes, we have new school. So here, what we need to do, we have been asked to do is to what? To rename old school. So we don't have old school here. So we need to create old school. Okay? We need to create what? Old school. So how do we go about that? Don't forget, use your what? Touch. Touch. Touch what? The name of the file. What's the name of the file? Old school. You want to create old school file. Okay? Old school. Okay? So now enter. Good. You've created the file. That is what? Old school. Old school. So how do you know you've created old school? You go back to your ls. ls means to list. ls. So let's check. Old school. Now you have old school and you have what? New school. So what you want to do here is we have to delete this because I have done this before. So we need to delete this so that we need to delete old new school, or you can leave it. So you want to rename this old school into what? You want to rename this old school to turn to what? To rename it. So it's still going to be one folder. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you, so just let me quietly delete the new school that is there before. So to delete a file, use your rm, then what? New school. New school. Okay, so you are using your new school here. Okay, so yes, new school. Oh, sorry, I use rm. They say no such file or directory. Okay, okay, that means it's not there. So let's rename. How do you rename? Use your word mv. Mv is used to rename and to move. Okay, you can use your mv to rename. Okay, so now what do we do? Mv words old school and old school, sorry, old school. Then you are moving it, you want to rename it to what? New school. New school. Okay, that's how you're going to put it. You just put mv, now write old school to what, and then it's going to new school. Enter. So let's check ls. So you now have what? Old school has changed to what? From this old school, it has changed towards new school. Let's check whether it is correct. Old school, where is new school? Where is old school? No longer old school. So let's check our working pwd before we close. Good, we are still in the right directory. So let's instruct our checker. Let's check if our project is correct. As a software engineer, you will be doing a lot on debugging in sense that you have to check whether your codes are right. So our code is right. Let's go back to number 3. Not here is the name of the project. So the name of this project is not here. So we are still maintaining the current directory. It says change your working directory what? To root. So we are still in root. So let's clear this rough work, this terminal. Let's clear the terminal so that our terminal will be free from junks because they are now junks. So now we have been asked to move the file not here to what? To /tmp/write -school. So you have been asked to make a movement to move a file, just like as I gave you as an example the other time. So here now we have been asked to what? To move this folder, this file into this directory. Now anytime you see slash, it means it is what? A directory. Okay, to differentiate, like anything I told you the other time, at the beginning of this you did not see any slash, so it means this is a what? A file. But for you to know it is directory, there will be what? A slash before it. So that's how to identify a file and a directory. A directory. So now we want to move this file, but before we can move it, let us check our current directory. Okay, we are still in the root directory. Now we want to check whether we have not here as a file on our directory. So what do? ls. So we don't have it here. So what we need to do is we need to create what? We need to create this file. It's just a file name. Don't forget what I told you. They just call it a file. Is a file. It can either be an empty file or not an empty file. So that is none of your business whether it is empty or not. So now it's none of your business to know whether the file is empty or not. All you have been asked to do is just create a file. Simple. That is the project. So how do we create a file now? As a software engineer, you need to understand that creating a file is very, very necessary. It cannot be overemphasized. It is a very, very essential skill. So here you're going to be creating not here. And how do you create a file? You need to make use of your command, that is your tc touch. That's your touch command to create a file, and then you enter the name of the file you want to create, that is not here. Okay, So enter. Let's check whether we have created the file on our working directory. Good. Not, where is it? Can you find it? Not here. It has been created. So you've done this. Now for you to move it here, you need to now use your movement command. That is mv. Then you now enter what? The name of the file you want to move. Not here. Not here. Then space, you now enter this directory. Don't forget, this is a 2-in-1 directory. It's a directory, but they have been mashed together, so you don't need to separate them. Don't confuse yourself. It's a single directory. It's just like using, this is a single directory, but this is another directory. Look at it. This is a directory, this is a directory. Okay, and now, okay, sorry, let me use these two cups. Now this is a directory and this is a directory. So you are putting this directory inside this directory to make it what? One single directory. And that is what you have here. You have this directory having inside this directory. So you now have one single directory. So don't confuse yourself by using different tags for it. So what you need to do here now is now come here and enter the single directory. I don't encourage people to copy and paste. Always have your hands on your system for masterminding whatsoever you are doing. So here you come and say -tmp /school. So we already write it down. So let's check. Let's move not here into it. Let's see what it's going to give us. Let's see what it's going to give us. Good. Let's check whether it has been moved out of this directory. Don't forget, we are trying to move not here. Not here is here before. Let's see whether it's still going to be there. So use your ls. So you see that not here has been moved out of this working directory. Okay, so now it means you are now in another, the not here has been moved towards the other working directory. So if you want to check whether the working directory you have moved it is actually having that file, how do you check? What you need to do is what? cd means to change directory. So you enter your cd and say the name of the directory by saying /tmp, then enter. So now you see that it has cd'd. That means you have opened another door. You have opened another door into another directory to see what you have transferred into it, whether it is inside. Now, how do we check what we want to check? How do we go inside and see whether what we have sent into this directory is actually inside the directory? What you need to do is what? Enter your what? ls. You can also list, but you may not necessarily need that because what you are checking is not many. So just enter your ls and enter. You see now, it is now, what did we move? What did we move again? We moved not here. So let's check for not here. Okay. What did we move? We moved not here. Okay, let's check the other directory because I explained something to you the other time. These are two different directories merged in one. Then you now want to put something inside these two directories. You put this pencil in this directory. You put this pencil in this directory and you now want to, this is a file, okay? You put it here and you now put this directory inside this directory. So you have to also cd, that is change directory into this bigger directory so that you can see this word pencil. So that's what we want to do now. So let's cd into the bigger directory. That's cd into what? Into right school. Okay, so okay, let's cd into this. Let's remove this cd. Let's go back. I used to tell you that if you want to take one step back from a particular directory, just use your cd slash, then you enter. It will take you a step back. Then let's cd back into this full directory slash tmp slash right slash school, enter. So the directory that is actually the real directory here is cd t slash tmp. So that is where we have our not here. So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. cd, one step backward. Good. So for us to be sure that we are still in the right directory, what do? Enter your pwd. Good. Now let's go to our check. Let's check whether we are correct. Let's start it. As a software engineer, you must always know how to verify, and that is what we call debugging. You must be able to debug and check, scrutinize whether your code is right. Your code can be a life-threatening code, in the sense that maybe you are building a software, you're building a machine, and the machine is going to control maybe the breathing system of a human being, or is going to control something that is maybe the traffic. Look at the traffic. The traffic that we have today, the traffic light that we have today is being controlled by software, and you need to check and test your what? Your code, whether they are right. Codes are very right. Whatsoever you input into the code is what is going to give you. But you need to check whether your codes are right, so that you will be able to manage the risk. So now we have been able to check, and it's telling us, congratulations, our codes are right. So let's go to the next project. We have change your working directory to root. We are still in root. So here we have then delete the file ready to be removed. So we want to delete this file. So for you to delete a file, how do you know this is a file? Because there is no what? There is no slash before the file. So it makes us know that this is a file, is not a directory. So for you to delete a file, the file must be existing. So for you to know whether the file is there, first of all, check with your ls. So let's see whether the file is there. What's the name of the file? Ready to be removed. Do we have it? No. So what do we need to do? We need to delete it. Some will just believe that since it's not there, it has been deleted. No, that means you are being asked. It's just like you are being asked to, it's just like being asked to do something indirectly. Me telling you to look neat, I'm saying make sure you are neat, make sure you are not smelling. What am I telling you indirectly? I'm telling you to make sure you take your bath, brush your teeth. That is what I'm telling you indirectly. So I may not necessarily tell you make sure you bath, make sure you brush your teeth to look neat. No, once I just say make sure you look neat and stay out of body odor, it means I'm telling you to what? It means I'm telling you to take your bath. So here now they are asking us to delete a working a file, and the file is not there. That means they are telling us to create the file and delete the file. Okay, so that is very simple. So how do we create the file? Don't forget, you have checked your working directory. You are still in the working directory. You have also checked the list, the directory, to check for the file, and the file is not there. So what are you going to do? What you're going to do is create the file. Use your touch, Touch, to create your what? Your file. And then what do you do next? You enter the name of the file by saying ready. So now touch to create your what? Your file by saying touch ready slash. Okay, I think the network is poor. Okay, ready slash to be removed. Okay, so enter. We want to create it. Good. Let's check whether we have created the file. Go into your working directory by using your ls. So now ready to be removed have been created. So what next? What next is they say delete the what? The file. So that means you are creating it to delete it. So let's delete the file. How do you delete a file? To delete a file, you can delete a file by using your MV, and also you can also move a file with your what? You can also rename a file with your MV, and you can also delete a file with your what? With your MV. Okay, here now you see where we used MV to rename a file. Look at it, not yet here. Oh, sorry, we used it to move a file. Okay, let's come here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let's look for delete. Let's look for delete. So here, so that you can see the importance of this this material. So RM, I talked about RM the other time, is used to delete a file. Yes, I talked about it the other time. RM, you can see it. RM, see it. RM is used to delete a file, is used to remove a file. Okay, so let's go back. You can use RMDIR, that is RM directory, remove a directory. So I believe you understand the difference between a directory and a file. So for you to remove a file, you use your what? RM. For you to delete a directory, you use your what? RMDIR. So let's get on. So let's remove this file by saying, let's delete this file by saying RM ready. We already have it. So you click on your tab, it will bring it out, and it is gone. So let's check whether we have removed ready to be removed. LS. So what has happened? Is it there? No, it's gone. So let's go back to, let's be sure that we are still on the working directory. So we are still on the root working directory. So let's check for our code. Let's check for our code if our code is correct. Yeah, good. Congratulations, our code is correct. So let's go to number 5. Here we have change your working directory. We are still on the working directory. Then create a directory. School is amazing. Now we have not done anything on creating a directory. Let's clear the terminal so that our terminal can be free from junks. So now let's create a working directory. How do you create a working directory? If removing a working directory is RMDIR, then to create a working directory, you use mkdir But before you create a directory, let's pwd our directory to be sure we're in the right directory. So we're in the right directory, as you can see. So let's come back. Let's come back here. Let's come back by saying, let's now create the directory dimkdir. Then you now have, we are to create a directory. What are we creating? School. School is what? Is amazing. School is amazing. So enter, make directory. School is amazing. Okay, it's telling us cannot create directory. School is amazing already exists. I've created it before, don't forget. So now I need to delete it and now create it for those of you that are just getting to know about how to do this. So let me remove this directory. It has to be rmdir, then school is amazing. School is amazing. Let me check since we already have it. Is amazing. So let me remove it. I've deleted the directory. Let's now check whether we still have the directory. The directory is gone. So let's create a fresh directory now for the project. Create a directory. How do you create? Let me clear the screen, or I don't need to clear. So what I need to do now is what? Make a directory, mkdir, then school slash school is amazing. That's the name of the file, of the directory. School is amazing. Is amazing. So let's enter. So we already have the directory. For us to check whether we already have the directory, what do? ls school is amazing. You see that it's coming as school is amazing. Anytime you want to, you are listing a file or a directory, when you see any folder that is written in colored, that has been highlighted with a different color, just know that that is a what? That is when it's highlighted in blue color, blue color, just know that that is what? A directory. Okay, and the white files are what? Are folders, are files on their own, while the highlighted one is what? A directory. So let's go on, let's check our working directory with our pwd. So here, let's come back and check our terminal, our working. Let's verify by checking our code if our code is correct. Good, saying congratulations, our project has been approved. So good. Now let's come down. The last project, we have change your working directory. We are still on the working directory. Now we need to clear these junks. So let's clear this. Now, we are still on the working directory, but for you to be sure you are still on the working directory, it's just like you're an engineer and you are asked to work in a field, a specific field. And for you to check whether you are still in that field, not that you are going into another domain to do a different project, you are still in that same field. For you to check, you need to make use of your pwd. So this is still giving us an indication we are still in our what? Root directory. We are still in our what? Root directory. So we are here, we are asked to create, to remove a directory. So it's very simple. You cannot remove a directory if you don't have the directory. So the first way to remove a directory is to create the directory. So how do you do that? You come down, first of all, list what is inside the directory to be sure that you don't have that directory. So it is not there. We cannot see, we have been asked to create empty directory. Look at it, empty directory, and we don't have empty directory in our system, in our terminal. So here now we are creating it. To create it, you use your mkdir to create your directory before you can remove it, making, oh sorry, it is a file, there is no hash. So you are making a file, and for you to make a file, you make use of your, they say remove the directory. Remove the directory. So it's a directory, so we are making a directory. Okay, is a directory. So let's make a directory by using mkdir. The name of the directory is what? Empty directory. Okay, good. Now let's make enter. Let's check whether we already made this directory by listing all what is inside our directory. Good. Empty directory. You can see it in a vertical displacement. We are listing it in a vertical displacement. We are listing it in a vertical displacement. So here now we already have it, and we are now asked to what? To remove it. So how do we remove it? By saying rm dir. You want to remove the directory rm dir. rm dir. Then after removing rm dir, then you now have empty. The name of the directory is empty what? Empty what? Empty directory. Empty directory. Good. So let's remove it. Let's check whether it has been removed by entering your ls. So you see that the directory has been removed. So let's check whether we are still in the right working directory. Good. So let's check our code. Very good. So the code has been checked, and this is where we would call it a day at the end of this project. I want to believe that some of you have been able to have a hands-on this project. We'll be coming back I will be coming back to teach you in so many other projects, so that you'll be able to understand the nitty-gritty of all you need to know in software engineering. So this is a very interesting section. Hope to see you once again. I am Dev Joseph. Thank you once again. Goodbye. Bye.